Hey everybody, thank you for joining us on our Facebook Live where we have the one and only Kim Taylor with the Kim Taylor Real Estate Group. That's a mouthful. Got it all out there. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic.
That's awesome. I am actually super excited about this video because we're going to be talking about something that's actually really near and dear to my own personal heart and that I've only just now found out is also really near and dear. There's words there. See, I mess up words too, so don't worry. To you as well. And that's the effect of God on real estate. And we're going to talk about your team and everything you've been going through. So before we dive into that, give us a little synopsis of what you think has been going on over the market for the last couple of months and kind of where we are right now.
Well, for my team and I, 2020 has been crazy. It has been very busy.
Good? Okay.
Crazy good.
Good.
We've had a spectacular year. We're a newer team. In fact, our 1 year anniversary is October 16th.
But you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes, I've been doing real estate 5 years. And, you know, the Lord just dropped this team in my lap about this time last year, August, September of last year. And it's just been amazing. There's still a little bit of a housing shortage. So still multiple offers, lots of people moving to the Metroplex.
Wow.
So, but for me and each of my team members this year, it's been phenomenal.
Wow.
So,
we hear about the housing shortage all the time where there's just not enough inventory, not enough houses on the market, which makes it a great time to sell your home because you've got more buyers than you do homes for sale. It ends up in multiple offer situations and you're in good shape. But one of the things I thought was really interesting that you said was that there's a big influx of, for lack of a better term, foreigners, you know, people from California or, you know, wherever, because we all know Texas is our own state here or our own country, and moving to Texas and some of it's work related, but some of it's retirement related and things like that. So that big influx, what does that do to the real estate market?
Well, it keeps us hopping.
Right.
You know, it's like just this week I had 3 referrals from friends whose families moving here, a friend whose niece is moving here, and then just a referral from a past client who has an employee moving here. So, I mean, it's like, welcome to the great state of Texas.
Yeah,
I mean,
welcome home.
Keeps the ball rolling for us, you know, keeps us busy.
So as the housing shortage continues and that drives prices up, right? Simple supply and demand, not enough supply equals greater demand means higher prices, right? For houses. How is that affecting the buyers who are interested in buying these houses? If the prices are going up, why do we have so many buyers?
You know, it's just, people always have to buy and sell, you know, and I've had so many people say, I can't believe real estate's been so busy this year. But the fact of the matter is that people still want to buy and sell houses. And I was telling you earlier, I have some clients who, some first-time home buyers, and their lease was not up until,
I love this story,
I think March or April. I can't even remember. It might even been May. But because interest rates are at such a historic low, my lender was able to get them such a good deal, great rates. It was more effective or more efficient for them to go ahead and find a house, buy it. In fact, we closed on it on Monday. And they still came out ahead. They went ahead and got out of their lease.
So they bought themselves out of the lease.
Bought themselves out of the lease and still came out ahead.
That's amazing.
Buying a house. And, you know, plus they're going to be in a house for Christmas. Who the heck knows what's going to happen in November with the elections? Interest rates aren't going to stay low forever.
No, I mean, they can't, right?
They can't.
When the Fed dropped the rate to 0, I was just like, at first, actually, I thought it was like fake news. I was like, what? How do we have a 0
Everybody's
interest
calling their lender.
Yeah, exactly. Can I refinance? So they were able to get such an amazing deal on their rate that they were able to buy themselves out of their lease and then pay a mortgage rather than paying rent. So all of, or whatever percentage of that money is now going to their principal. Right. And they're getting to keep it. Now they've got an appreciating
And they've got
asset.
a tax write-off. I mean, that's the biggest advantage of buying a house. So.
And that's a really good point because as we come toward the end of the year, a lot of people say, well, I want to wait until next year to start my home buying process. that's not necessarily the best idea. If you're going to buy a house, it's way better to close on that house in December than it is to close on it in January just because of the tax benefits.
Yeah, and a lot of people just don't understand that. They're just not educated.
Yeah.
And so as an agent, it's important to, and you have that fine line. You've got to be real careful because you don't want to come off pushy.
Right.
So that's where really a lot of prayer comes in, because it's like, okay, Lord, this kind of has to be their idea. I can just drop the, hint to them.
What do they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
Make them drink.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely. And I think that's really important, because even on top of that, you've got property taxes. So if you're going to file your homestead, it's all about where you lived on January 12th or something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
1st of January.
Is it the 1st of January? Yeah. So where you're living at the 1st of January depends on where you can file your homestead exemption.
Right.
So especially if you're moving, it makes sense to get that done prior to 2021.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good. So that kind of brings us, and you've been mentioning it as we've been going along here, your team has an amazing faith-driven purpose, and I love that. I tell people all the time, if you've got a problem with the God thing, imagine the problem that he has with you, but you don't just talk the talk, you really walk the walk. Can you tell us a little bit about what you and your team does to try to put God first in real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started my team, it was really kind of more, I didn't really know that I was going to start a team. I'm very, love leadership, love mentoring. I've always led Bible studies and stuff like that. But 2019 for me was very much a year of personal growth. I turned 50. It was just kind of...
I think you mean to say you turned 29 again.
Oh, yeah. It was just a really big year. And actually, I turned 50 in 2020. Okay. But 2019 was kind of leading up to that, And, the Lord just said, now's the time to start a team. And I was like, okay. And he just started instrumentally bringing people to me. People seek me out, which is like such a God thing to start off with. I'm not struggling to find team members, which I love that. And one thing we do before every meeting, we start every meeting before prayer. Sometimes I get so going and the girls will be like, we need to pray. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. Usually that's how it goes. But, we start every meeting with prayer. One of our team members a couple months ago came to me and she's like, hey, I would really like for us to take this to the next level. And the first day of every month, let's fast. Let's take the first day of every month and let's fast for our clients, our team, each other, our brokerage, the president, our leaders, whoever, and that has really like a breakthrough kind of happened. And we've had a very successful year.
That's awesome.
And I can only give God the glory for it, I feel like, because we just all were vessels January 1 that said 2020 is going to be a great year.
Absolutely.
And holy cow, was it a crazy year?
It was certainly crazy and good and good for you guys, which I think is fantastic. And and I love that you have this mentality where you really identified what's important to you and your team and serve that first and allow that to serve your clients through that process. It's not like, for a lot of people, the thing that's most important is not necessarily the thing that's most important to the client,
right.
And we were kind of having this discussion off base, I'm sure that you work with non-believers, people who aren't Christian or whatever, all the time. And you're a great real estate agent for them. And I know that about you, just having this conversation with you, you're incredibly knowledgeable, very passionate, hard worker. That's great. When you work with somebody who has those same morals and ideals, it's synergistic. You're a great real estate agent for anybody, but when you line that up with somebody who has those same ideals, you really push forward all the way to the point where you were telling me about a situation where you were like, hey, your house has been on the market longer than it should be, and something's wrong. It's priced right. We're marketing it like crazy. The condition is fantastic. There's a bigger problem here. And it came down to a God thing.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. Once you identified that issue, you were able to move forward with your client and not in opposition.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that was luckily I knew these clients very well, and there was no reason why their house should not have been selling. And it literally boiled down to listening to the Holy Spirit and just tapping into another level, right? Just not the busy day-to-day of being a real estate agent, but it's tapping into another level where I really felt like the Lord was telling me that they were just doing some grumbling to each other because their house hadn't sold.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that would make a difference, but that's negative energy. Not that energy, I really believe in all that energy stuff, but it's still negative talk that's going against like the prayers that we're doing. And so I challenged them. I'm like, okay, I want y'all to do something different. Instead of complaining, I want you to start saying, our house is great. We have a fantastic house. There is no reason why our house should not be selling.
Yep.
Lord, bring us a buyer. And literally, I bet within, man, I wish I could, I need to go back and look how quickly we got a contract, but we got over list offer. And I was like, guys.
On a house that had been on the market for 26 days, which in this market is crazy.
And it was a great house.
Yeah.
It was such a great house. But you know, the cool thing is that it built their faith. And they're young married couple. And it was pretty cool. Yeah. It was a pretty cool experience. You can't do that with everybody.
No. And to each his own. And like I said earlier, I mean, I know what a powerful team you run. And that is great for everybody. Everybody needs a really good agent who really has their mind focused on what it should be focused on. It's when you have this synergistic effect that I think really takes it above and beyond to be something even more powerful.
And let me hit on that too. Another thing, you know, just teaching your team members about something as simple as tithing. Because a lot of them, I don't know that they really grasped that. And I think a lot of people don't get that, you know, we as believers give back 10% to the local church. I mean, that's how the church runs.
Yep.
And so teaching them that level too, I just feel like we've honored God in every area. And it's my job to really listen to the Holy Spirit on, okay, what do we need to do? What do I need to teach? What do I need to, and we've been kind of coasting this year because I got my girls up and running. And my 5 new agents, well, my husband's our TC, but my 4 other new agents, like, they're rock stars.
Nice.
And so it's kind of weird because it's like I'm not having to do all that, you know, training and like they're doing it on their own. I'm just here for moral support, and camaraderie is a huge word in our team.
Yeah.
You know, hashtag better together.
Hashtag better together.
Hashtag
I like
better
that.
together, and camaraderie, team camaraderie is our big, you know, I still have to add value.
Sure, of course.
But it's pretty cool. And now I've got a new team member that I'm starting the process over again.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. She sounds like she's going to be a great fit with your team.
Yes, I'm so excited to get her trained up. So.
That's awesome. And it's when you have the well-oiled machine that is all headed toward the same goal that you really capitalize on that synergy, that camaraderie and all of that, which is one of the things I love about your team. So one of the things I always ask real estate agents is, why are you different? Why should anybody pick you versus everybody else, you know, that's out there? And I loved your answer of more. It was more people marketing your stuff, more people putting it on social media, more people doing your open houses, more options. And that team concept just really, I think, capitalized on exactly what makes you guys different. So
we all work together for one common goal. You know, I hound on quick response time. That is one of our core values. You know, I pounded into my girls, like, we don't work 9 to 5.
Right.
We don't work 9 to 6.
Not in this
that model does not work. And there's a lot of agents who do that because they're taught that you have to take personal time and you have to draw, you know, you got to draw that, what am I trying to say? Line in the sand.
Line in the sand.
You gotta, you know, you got to have personal boundaries. Well, I get that. But then on the flip side, like, time is of the essence. Like, you learn that in real estate school.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's one of the other benefits of having, me teach my team members what's important. Like, if you've got a client or agent reaching out at 8:30 at night, you have to respond.
Absolutely.
Please don't wait till 9 o'clock the next morning.
Well, and I know that's why you're so popular, even in JPAR, JP and Associates, JP and Associate Real Estate, I suppose,
Best real estate group out there, guys. We're the fastest growing brokerage. I love it. They offer so many tools that makes it so easy as an agent to, it's just amazing. In fact, my new team member is coming over tonight, and I'm going to go over Boss with her. And Boss is it's our brain. It's where we have everything. And I can't wait to show her just all the cool tools that we have as agents.
Well, and that's really exciting. And not only that, but there are really, really powerful and successful agents at JPAR. And you guys actually utilize that to your advantage. So you are actually on a team lead panel here recently. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we just had it's kind of sad, our end of the year rally, I think is really what it was supposed to be, but they called it the Unconventional Convention.
Okay.
Because it was unconventional.
Yeah.
We did a Zoom.
For your convention?
For our convention.
Oh, wow.
And Brian Buffini was speaker on day one.
You had Brian Buffini on your convention. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him on this show. Brian, if you're watching this, call us. I'd love to talk to you. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, Mark Johnson, our CEO, he said it took him 3 years. Like, he pounded him, to come talk. And he used to work with Tom Ferry as a coach and everything. He's awesome. I love you, Mark, and love you, JP, too. Anyway,
shout out.
So we had all these awesome breakout sessions during the day, but the keynote speaker was from 11 to 1. And so we had Brian Buffini day one, and then on day two, we had Nick, oh, crud, how do you, Vivicic or Nivich, what's his name? You know, the guy who was born with no legs and no arms?
Oh,
motivational speaker.
Yes, I know who you're talking about, but I couldn't tell you how to pronounce his name.
Oh my gosh, he just moved to Texas.
Really?
Yep. So,
well, if he needs a real estate agent, I know who to refer him to.
Well, there was kind of talk of him. I don't know if he's getting his license or not. Anyway, he's amazing. So good. And so I was asked to do a team lead panel with a couple of top agents in JPAR, and just to talk about how you run your team and what we do to be successful. And it was fun. It was fun.
I love watching you take on this great leadership role.
Oh,
and it's great to have good, godly women leading, real estate. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. So, great time to buy.
Yes.
Right, interest rates are ridiculously low.
Yes,
it can be a little bit difficult because you don't have as many houses that are for sale, so you might have to work a little harder to get a home. So be prepped for that if you're thinking about buying a home. You've got some steps you've got to get through.
There's no time like the present.
But there's no time like the present, and I totally agree with you. And one of the things I see people do wrong all the time, especially in this market, is they'll look at a house. They'll be like, ooh, that's the house I want to buy. And then they'll go talk to a real estate agent and say, oh, I found a house I want to buy. And you're like, you're not even pre-approved. And by the time, you came and talked to me, that house is gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. So back in the 80s and even the 2000s, it wasn't that hard. You could actually do that. You could be like, oh, I like that house. And houses weren't selling for 30, 60, 90 days. Yeah. You could do it. But you can't do that now.
Yeah, no. You got to be ready to go. For sure.
So first step, absolutely 100%, talk to a real estate agent, because the real estate agent is designed to look at the whole picture, not just your mortgage piece and not just your credit piece and not just what you can buy or what you should buy in your area. They look at everything. And I think that's really important. And hook you up with the right lender.
We can connect you to the right lender. And man, we get no kickbacks from that. I get more people saying, well, what's the benefit to me using your lender?
Like they're going to close.
I know he's going to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's going to get you the best rate.
Yeah, and you're going to get approved.
Yeah.
I've said this before. One of the things I absolutely can't stand is when people go to their bank and they say, ooh, do I qualify for a loan? And their bank tells them no. And so they continue to rent for another 2 or 3 or 4 years.
I really try to convert them to, I'm like, look, banks are great at keeping our money.
Yep.
But they are not good with mortgage loans.
No.
Can you please just talk to my lender just to see if he can get you a better rate? And 9.5 times out of 10, they make the conversion.
Absolutely.
Because the lender just offers so much more. Plus, you can talk to them. You can't get at banks. They send the loan to department, and you can't ever talk to anybody.
Yeah, it's just an
Whereas
email
my
address.
lender,
if it's even
I can
that.
text him or call him anytime and get him.
Well, and if you have anything that doesn't fit in the box, you know, you're self-employed.
Yes.
You forbeared your house, right? You've got not a foreclosure. Yeah, if you got a foreclosure, I was thinking a bankruptcy.
Yeah.
If you've got all of these things,
it's like
make it very difficult for a big box.
He and I don't want to say any names, but because I work with a lot of lenders,
Sure.
They're all fantastic.
But some lenders are better at some things, and some lenders are better at other things.
This one particular lender, he's so good because he's like, it's like putting a puzzle together. And he's like, I love putting puzzles together. You know who you are. And he's like, he loves the more challenging ones. In fact, you know, we were some of the crazies that did a buy-sell in 2020.
Yeah.
Over the summer. We did a buy-sell remodel. We were able to purchase non-contingent.
Yep.
We bought the house. We did about a 2 to 3 week remodel before we moved in. Then we got our house immediately under contract and moved in and closed. And man, and on top of that, that was all in July, and I had 11 closings in July.
Whoa.
A personal best. Like, I've never had that many closings in 1 month. And then we were right in the middle of remodeling
to do this and that.
So,
and of course, your husband's on your team too, so
yes,
it's not like he was fully dedicated to that.
I have a picture of him sitting in the bathroom the day the movers are there. He's sitting on the edge of the bathtub with his laptop on his countertop, typing a contract up. So it's like real estate never sleeps.
It never sleeps, and I think that's so important to have somebody in your corner who gets it and is willing to do whatever it takes. Because, like you said,
that's another advantage of our team is I have a contract coordinator that frees us agents up to be in front of the clients.
Right.
And that's what we're good at.
Right.
We're good at, we can get you in the house. We can hobnob, as I like to call it, with other agents. You know, we can get you under contract, but you don't want us doing the paperwork. Right. You don't want us doing the money. It's what the lender's for. You don't want us writing the paperwork.
Absolutely.
So that's what he's for. So that's a great addition.
We were talking about that DISC profile earlier. You know, your high D's and high I's are great for selling houses and getting people in there and getting you that contract that you really, really need. But you need somebody who's a really high C,
He's a C.
detailed oriented, contracts, all of that.
He keeps track of our numbers. He lets us know where we all are each month as a team and individual, and it's really good. That really, one other thing that I didn't really tap on, which I don't know where we are time-wise, but
we're okay.
One thing that was really beneficial to us this year was there's a book out there called The 12-Week Year. And if I would have thought, I would have brought it just for a visual.
Book.
It was pinnacle for me this year because in fact, I was just talking to the girls back there about how I've never been so great with goals and numbers, and because I was afraid I couldn't achieve them, or what if I put this number out there and I don't achieve it and then I just beat myself up. And the 12-week year really teaches you to break it all down. You got 4 quarters, and here we're fixing to enter into Q4, which quarter 4? Tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow's October 1st.
I know, isn't that crazy? Where did this year go?
So it's like I have 3 months to kill it. And what you do is you don't look at 365 the year. You just look at those 3 months and you treat those 3 months like it's a year.
Yep.
And it breaks it down. And that's been huge.
It is an absolutely phenomenal book. It is really, really good. We are out of time, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
But if somebody was interested in contacting you, maybe trying to figure out if they qualify for a loan or where they should start looking or what their house might sell for, what's the best way to reach you?
So cell phone, I have my cell phone with me all the time, except right now I feel a little lost without it. 817-269-6221 is my cell. And then if you prefer email, Kim Taylor Sells RE, because I sell real estate. Sells RE at gmail.com.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I'm real big about texting first. So I will usually text you, see when a good time to chat is, and then
I love that.
I love sending videos. I'll send you a video text, and then we'll figure out when we can talk. And
nothing aggravates me more than me texting somebody and then them calling me, and I'm like, no.
then you play phone tag.
Yeah, if I could have talked to you, I would
Well,
have.
and you don't ever know when it's a good time for people to talk. So I preferred you just to say, "Hey, let's talk at 5:30." Perfect. Perfect. Got a game plan.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Absolutely, Kim Taylor with the Kim Taylor Real Estate Group. If you need anything for real estate needs, and again, especially for those people who really understand the value of where God belongs in that real estate transaction, definitely reach out, support, and become a part of the family.
Thank you. Yeah, we would love to help.
Perfect. Until we see you guys again, stay safe, stay productive. Bye, guys.
Bye.